This template is designed for new houses, room additions, and larger projects. The template consists of 3 parts: a company info tab, like all other templates, a summary tab consisting of 2 pages with multiple categories and several detailed worksheets. Like the large job estimate, each item on the summary tab gets its information from the detailed worksheet. These detailed worksheets will do the math, display each detailed worksheet's total, and automatically enter its total to the corresponding place on the summary pages. The first step in using this template is to enter the estimate information from your previously completed large job estimate summary tab. The amounts for the estimate columns can be copied from the large job estimate summary tab one line at a time, or copied using the copy and special paste function. The instruction manual will cover this procedure in more detail. You will only need to enter the individual amounts. The sections will automatically total, as will the balance columns. The standard contractor's fee will also be calculated. As a check figure, the total price in the estimate column should match that from your large job estimate tab. After this estimate information is entered, the program will calculate the amount over or under estimate as you enter your cost data, enabling you to monitor cost versus estimate as the job progresses. For example, once the foundation is completed and the cost has been posted, you will know how this portion of the project compares to your estimate. The summary page will total each section and keep a cumulative total of all costs. It will total your cost for the project, compare this to your estimate, and show you the difference between estimated and actual, line by line and section by section. It will also show you actual total profit and calculate this as a percentage gross markup and as a percentage of gross sales price. You can also enter the start and finish date for reference in preparing estimates for similar projects in the future. There is a detail page for each section of the summary page. Each detail page has columns for each of the individual line items on the summary page. For all items, you enter the amount of the invoice in the appropriate column and cell. As you move right, the left column will always remain in view, as will the column headings as you move down the page. The template will automatically add sales tax as it did in the estimate template. If you have items that do not need sales tax added, check at the bottom of the column and delete this feature if needed. The allowance page works similar to the other detail worksheets. It also will show the amount your customer had for an allowance, the amount of over or underspending, and the total due you for overspending or credit due the customer. This can be printed and given to the customer. You may also need to provide backup invoices, and this page will act as the summary. The labor page has 4 sets of columns corresponding to the 4 phases of labor. The last line in the Other Items section is Changes and Contingencies. The amount for the sale in the Actual column is automatically copied from the Actual Total Cost column of the Changes and Contingencies tab. This is the next to last tab of the workbook and is filled out similar to other tabs, except the totals are shown at the top of the page. This tab prints in landscape orientation and will enable tracking of all costs associated with unexpected costs or change orders made by the customer. This will allow you to see where your variance occurred for improving future estimates. It also lets the customer or lender see why this job is costing more or less than had been budgeted. The last tab of the workbook is the Payments tab, and will provide a place to keep track of periodic invoices and payments. The columns will total to row 1000, and these totals are shown at the top of the page. The Total Invoice to Date column is the total of all amounts entered in the Invoice Amount column. The Amount Paid column is for entering the amount of each of your customers' payments. The Retainage or Balance Due column is the total invoiced to date amount minus the total paid to date amount. The last column on the right is the total paid to date. This amount will automatically be transferred to the Summary tab in the cell to the right of total income. The template will use this amount to calculate the net profit margins in the lower right cells of the Summary tab. The Payments tab contains a heading should you need to print this for your customer. The information in the heading is automatically copied from the Company Info tab. The Customer and Project are automatically copied from the corresponding cells of the Summary tab. This page will print in landscape orientation. Since the Summary, Allowance, and Payments tab of this workbook or template may be printed for a customer or lender, they print the date prepared in the left side of the footer on each page. Thanks for viewing this tutorial, and I hope you will find it helpful for your business.